Welcome to Victoria, BC. If you ask a local from Victoria, hey, what's there to do around here? What do you guys suggest? They're gonna tell you absolutely nothing. It's boring as hell. Go see the rest of the island. Well, I'm here today to tell you, as the kids say, that's cap. There's a ton of things to do in Victoria, and I did it all. Well, almost. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys the most accurate representation of what it's like in Victoria that you're gonna be able to find on YouTube. This is a look into the streets, on the ground, what it really feels like. So to not waste any more of your time, in summary, what we're gonna do, we're gonna explore the core, of course, the good and bad parts. We're gonna go to Fisherman's Wharf, a bunch of the local parks. We're gonna take a hop-on, hop-off bus tour around the city. We're gonna go to the Royal BC Museum, Ogden Point, Chinatown. We're gonna go whale watching on Canada Day, and then check out some of the festivities in Victoria, which actually gets pretty insane out here on Canada Day. So this is gonna be a long video, but worth it, so stick around. Enough talk, let's hit the streets of Victoria, BC. Just got to Victoria. It's nice and hot, bro. Crazy. Just gonna take the bus today. It's like $100 for an Uber. No thank you. Alright, so this is my first official day in Victoria. We just did the first night in the hostel. It was pretty chill. But anyways, we're gonna take a little tour around Victoria today, see what's going on. You know, I've seen a lot of videos from YouTubers going to Victoria, but they don't really show the actual city, the downtown area. So I feel like we just gotta get a better look at it, see what's going on. It looks like a normal little Canadian city with some unique flair, so we'll see. Apparently there's some rough parts with some tent city type of spots, so I don't know where it is, but we might run into it. We'll see. Oh, we got 7-Eleven. The streets of the downtown core here in Victoria feel similar to many Canadian towns and cities that I've been to. It has that medium-sized city vibe, established in 1843. There's some beautifully preserved Victorian architecture, which we're gonna see in some shots coming up. There's some nice quaint little streets here. Very calm. We're heading towards the water right now. See how it is. So now we're gonna get close to the harbor area, which is the main tourist zone of the city. Things start to look a lot different. So this area is where Government Street and Wharf Street meet. Bike lanes are proper, I will say that. I respect the city with good bike lanes, man. You know, we've been to Latin America, we've been to Europe, been to a lot of places, but I've never explored my own damn country. So, as you can see, we have the beautiful harbor. This is where you're gonna catch all your boat tours, seaplanes, and ferries. We're gonna go whale watching later in the video, and this is where it's gonna kick off. So this is the legendary Fairmont Empress Hotel, of which notable guests include King George VI, and of course the late Queen Elizabeth. It opened in 1908, and it's designated as a National Historic Site of Canada. I'm testing out a new setup because I never wanted to travel with this thing before. We got the Blackmagic Pocket 4K on deck, and this is what I use for music videos and a bunch of other stuff. But I've never traveled with it because it's so excessively large and hard to pack. It forces me to like expand my setup and wear this backpack. So I'm trying it out. It's not been too bad so far. I can't get like an extra battery and rig out the setup like I usually do, but you know, compromises, you gotta make them. Here's the walking tour I was gonna join. Pretty lit crowd today. And these are the historic Parliament buildings, completed in 1898 by the same architect who designed the Empress. It's a busy day in Victoria, let me tell you, broski. The buildings serve as the seat of the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia, where laws are debated and passed. This is the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. This is where they f up the country a little more, you know? Right here. You know it. There's quite a lot going on surrounding the Parliament buildings. Lots of restaurants and landmarks. For now, we're going to continue on walking and get to the next stop, Fisherman's Wharf. Just walking down Belleville Street here. It turns into a completely different vibe when you turn the corner out of the tourist area. Restaurants and quaint little streets. It's pretty interesting. I don't really know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere, and that's what matters in life, right? Just go somewhere. This guy got destroyed. This guy got straight up targeted. Alright, so we made the walk over to Fisherman's Wharf. It's like a little touristy area. Just gonna check it out quickly. I don't know what's going on. So quick stopover. Well, not really, because I had to walk like bare time. So Fisherman's Wharf is another main attraction of the city. The most standout feature is a collection of brightly painted floating homes. These houseboats are not for show, people do live here. It's looking completely dead in Fisherman's Wharf today. It's a ghost town, man. It's more of a weekend spot, I think. I don't think this is like a Wednesday rainy day spot, it seems. The Wharf is where you go if you want some fresh seafood. There's a ton of options. You can grab a bite and have a nice view of the wharf and harbor. I went here multiple times on the trip. Once, quite early in the morning, and it was completely empty. Let me show you guys what a peak visitor time looks like. Totally different vibe. As you can see here, it was a beautiful day to grab some fish and dine on the wharf.
Where are you guys from?
Toronto.
Oh, nice.
How about yourself, man? Okay, so I just got back from Fisherman's Wharf, and this place got absolutely crowded, man. It's insane. Since it's like double the amount of people. So come early if you want these crazy your Instagram photos or whatever. We got a nice little park here called St. Anne's Academy, or that's the building that's next to the park, but it's pretty nice. The trees here are so big, bro. Like they're just so huge, man. Massive. It's quite beautiful. One thing Victoria is not short of, beautiful park space. Oh, look how high they go. But as the morning was progressing, so was the traffic. The people start coming out in droves, and it was getting lively. So now we're gonna take a look at the touristy part of Government Street, heading back north into the city once again. This street is closed off to cars, and there's a ton of cafes, restaurants, Irish pubs, and gift shops. It's a beautiful walk to do down here in the core. Okay, we're gonna try the first coffee shop of the trip. We're gonna hit a Discovery Cafe. I think it's over here, Discovery Coffee. I'll put it on the screen anyways, it's over here. And here it is. One thing I love to do when traveling is go on a cafe tour. Hit as many cafes as possible in a new city and find my favorites. Victoria has no shortage of cafes, all with their own charm. If I showed you guys all the cafes that I filmed, we'd be here all day. I checked out a few other things in the core as I was waiting for my friend to pick me up, and then he arrived. My friend had somewhat recently moved from Toronto to Victoria, and somehow he found the most beautiful place to live that I have ever seen.
One time there was a bad storm and the waves were literally hitting our window and the cats were getting scared. They were trying to paw them away.
So funny. I was like, what do you think you're gonna do, Jelly? She was like at the window like this.
That's the spot. Oh my god, dude. Dude, that's insane. Look at the view.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What the fuck? It's located east in the Oak Bay part of the island, which is a totally different vibe compared to the core. Much more residential, a golf course, very upscale homes and feel.
I just prefer them for me. They're like more rewarding than. Hey, so are you gonna be on Hostel offer?
Oh, we got company. I spent quite a bit of time here, and we saw otters in the bay, huge birds, ships, and just downright beautiful sunsets. I have so much footage of the view here, we'd be here once again all day. So let's move it on over to day 2 in Victoria, BC. It's definitely tourist season out here in Victoria. You can see the tour buses are getting loaded up, man. Alright, we just booked like one of those Just booked one of those double-decker bus tours for the first time in my life. I've never done it, so I'm like, yeah, let's just do it. See what it's like, be a tourist in the city for once. So, why not? Yup, we're going on a big bus tour of the city. These are known as hop-on, hop-off tours. I think it was about $50 for the entire day. They ran from around 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can hop on right across from the Empress on Government Street. I had my camera all set up, ready to go. It was quite a hot and sunny day, and little did I know I was about to get cooked. But in anticipation of this, I threw my sweater around my neck to avoid getting absolutely fried. It worked pretty well. I've always been one of those people who looked at these big, giant buses going around a city and felt like, couldn't be me. But actually, it's a super fun little thing to do. A really easy way to get to know a new city. I can totally see the allure. I'm definitely gonna do this in every new city I go to from this moment on. I encourage you guys to give it a shot. So in total, the trip was about an hour. It went everywhere from the downtown to the industrial area to Oak Bay and took a different scenic route on the way back.
And there it is on the right-hand side.
Forgot the sunscreen today, so we're doing the anti-sun tech special technique. You know how it is. You're gonna see Chinatown, different parts of the harbor, the big castle in Oak Bay, pretty much hit all the spots.
That usually keeps our water temperatures below 11 degrees Celsius.
Area of Ogden Point, and the restaurant up at the end called Oaks was a hotel and pub.
Pretty good.
We many times the Hallmark would be.
Alright, so the bus tour gave me a really good foundation of the city, and now I had a great idea of what I wanted to explore next. I decided to make the scenic walk over to Ogden Point. Constructed in 1916, the granite structure was originally built to protect the harbor and facilitate marine traffic. Named after Peter Skeen Ogden, a prominent explorer and fur trader for the Hudson's Bay Company. The structure features a huge mural that extends deep into the water. So when I saw all these people hanging out on the railing, I was thinking, oh, it must just be a really nice view of the shoreline. But if you're a local watching this video right now, you know exactly what's going on here. I got treated to something super rare and special when I arrived at Ogden Point. There were orcas swimming in the water a few hundred feet away from the rails. It was a family of what I believe to be about 3. Now, I was told by the locals that they've never seen orcas in their entire life at Ogden. Isn't that funny how life works? Toronto man shows up and immediately gets to see the rarest possible encounter. Life is crazy, man. And the people here were absolutely loving it. But anyways, now let's get a look at some of the beautiful views provided by the breakwater structure. I was getting super lucky with the weather here. Rain is extremely common in Victoria, and I only came across it a few times during my trip. So after Ogden, I decided to get a better look at Beacon Hill Park. On my way there, I encountered something kind of funny. There were some deer that were hanging around, as they do here, and some tourists trying to get a better look. And some random dogs came out of nowhere and chased them away, herding them like sheep. Deer, by the way, are very, very common in Victoria. Something else that's interesting, this is the spot where Terry Fox officially started his Marathon of Hope in 1980. Mile 0, right here, as you can see. We have a beautiful bronze statue in memorial of Terry Fox. Gotta love it. So entering into Beacon Hill Park, a huge park spanning 200 acres with a few interesting things going on. The first thing you'll see, there's a bunch of peacocks just hanging around doing their thing, mostly entertaining tourists. There's a petting zoo in the farm area. There's quite a few trails and some beautiful park space and picnic spots. You can't go wrong with a little stroll through this park, honestly. Later in the night, it was Friday and things heated up a bit in the city. I decided to grab some food and check out a bar called Leopold's Tavern. It was pretty cool. On that note, it doesn't seem like Victoria is a night owl city. There's only a few places open and the vibe ends quite early. Victoria does not seem like the place for late night shenanigans, for sure. It's like they're setting up for, it looks like they're setting up for Christmas already. All right, the Royal BC Museum. Oh my God, my camera case just completely broke. Look at that, dude. That sucks, man. Oh my God. But anyways, we're gonna check out the Royal BC Museum today. Heard good things because none of my buddies are people that want to explore museums, so I'm gonna go in solo. Yeah, I think it's like 30 bucks to get in. We're gonna check it out, see what's up. I have no idea what the content of this museum is, but we'll see. So walking into the museum, we have a beautifully placed coffee shop and lounge area. It's massive. We're gonna hop over to the ticket booth here and gain access to the exhibits, of which they had a special Stonehenge exhibit on at the time. There was a ton of miniature Stonehenge models along with artifacts and all of the history surrounding the site. So when I went to the next floor, this is what seems to be the permanent section of the museum. You have a bunch of exhibits on the wildlife surrounding the island, the history, marine life, rare animals, etc. My favorite part of the museum was a bit tucked away in the back. It's a total recreation of an old mining town that would represent the history of mining in British Columbia. It has detailed replicas of buildings, tools, and artifacts from that era. Very, very cool. There were also these monstrous crab skeletons in the marine section that were just out of a nightmare. One of my favorite parts. So cool. So that was the Royal BC Museum. Pretty cool. I'd say definitely worth it. I like the old mining town exhibition from the 1800s. They had like recreated. Must have took a long time to get that done. But I would recommend you guys come here. It was like 30 bucks to get in. Absolutely nothing for what you get. So yeah, cool experience so far here in Victoria, BC. So Chinatown. You'd be surprised to learn that the Chinese have quite a long and deep history here in Victoria. Dating back to the 1850s, found the arrival of Chinese immigrants who came to the city during the Fraser River Gold Rush and the construction of the Canadian Pacific Railway. By the 1880s, this place had become a bustling neighborhood with a growing Chinese community. This little alleyway is called Fan Tan Alley, and it's the heart of Chinatown here, also known for being one of the narrowest streets in Canada. The name Fan Tan refers to an old Chinese gambling game. You can imagine the type of business that was going on in this alley back in the day. Gambling dens, opium houses, and herbal medicine shops. Today it's filled with some very cool shops. We went into this record store called The Turntable and it was super cool. The owner gave us a history lesson on the place and had a great vibe.
For you guys.
Toronto, unfortunately.
Toronto.
It's true. Wagwan, broski.
With these young kids talking there nowadays, man.
It's a different language, honestly.
You know, I used to live there for many years as a musician, so cool.
Very cool. There's one more shop within Fan Tan Alley you gotta check out, and it's called World Arts. The owner, once again, was an awesome dude. Got our heads spinning with some of these cool little artifacts. Once again, you cannot miss this part of Victoria. When you come, it's absolutely worth it.
Hands flat,
Hands flat.
There's some technique going on here. Oh!
A little bit. Now you have to get one of him doing it. So you have to see how
see the difference? Oh, it's like a bigger version.
I need to capture this. Do that one more time.
That's insane.
Head height for me. Oh wow. Can I balance it? Yeah. Are we good? Are you good? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Shouldn't have hit that pen before this.
So we met at the harborfront area I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. All right, we're gonna go whale watching today. We're just waiting for the ship to take off here. All right, we're going whale watching in Victoria today. We got a really interesting situation with the boat. Shit, we'll see how it goes. We got our life jackets on and hit the sea. The company we went with is called 5-Star Whale Watching, and the guide was excellent. Honestly, it was beautiful just being out on the water here in the Salish Sea.
Productivity, I essentially mean the ability of the water to generate nutrients. Little otter. Oh, there's a little harbor seal there. Yeah.
Nice. We moved quite fast for about 30 minutes and then finally saw some action happening in the water. And first sighting, we got a pod of orcas for the second time in the video. They were doing some feeding along the shoreline here. Absolutely beautiful to see these creatures in their wild habitat. When most people think of whale watching, they think of whales jumping out of the water, almost smashing into the boat, but in reality, this is not the case. The boats maintain a safe distance away from the animals, and this is crucial to allow them to survive uninterrupted. Just make sure to bring some binoculars and a long lens when you come. My 35mm was not cutting it.
And be awake at random times in a 24-hour period. So they'll actually rest half of their brain. That half of their brain will go to sleep, and they'll still be able to swim and breathe, and then they'll switch it. The other half of their brain will go to sleep. And yeah, so they're quite interesting in that sense. So they're sort of on a really different clock than we are.
After the orcas, we went on looking for some humpbacks as they do come around during the summer months. We traveled for about 45 more minutes into much deeper waters, and lo and behold, some humpbacks were doing deep dives. These guys are incredibly hard to film as they come up for a few seconds and dive down for like 5 minutes. They can surface within a massive radius, but you just gotta look for that giant spout of water coming out. Even being so far, you can tell just how large these amazing creatures are. It was a real treat and a dream of mine to get on this trip here, do some whale watching. Arriving back into the harbor, things were getting absolutely wild here in Victoria for Canada Day.
Hey, watch your feet there.
There were pop-up shops, food trucks, and of course a huge stage that lined up right in front of the Parliament buildings. Alright, so we're out here we're out here Canada Day in Victoria. And I would have never thought in a million years that it was looking this crazy. Like, it is absolutely wild out here. We got the band playing, the drinks are out, the red shirts are out. And yeah, apparently a lot of people, just hop on the ferry from Vancouver and they come over here to celebrate instead of actually celebrating in Vancouver. This seems to be the spot, and there's going to be fireworks tonight. And I love how they have the actual stage set up in front of the Parliament building here. That's super, super cool. I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but yeah, it's been super, super fun so far. I'm very surprised, man. The vibe is different out here on Canada Day. Like, absolutely wild. So we're gonna continue exploring the city here, and now let's do it. See you guys later. We wanted to find a place to sit and enjoy the fireworks with the stage in view, and the Empress fit the bill, so we decided to give it a shot. Well, they had a special Canada Day multi-course dinner, and it was almost $100. This is what we got. We got a couple slices of fish and some bread. I gotta be honest, this was absolute ass. Not impressed at all, but hey, I went to the bathroom and checked out the legendary interior of the Empress, and that was cool. After that, the fireworks had begun.
There's a lot of people out here, dude. That's it. A lot of fucking people.
There were just thousands and thousands of people here. On God, it was wild. Yo, that's insane, bro. Dude, that's
Okay, perfect.
Now, I can't just make a Victoria video without showing the entire story, right? So we're gonna head over to a bit of the rougher side of town. It's located around Pandora and Quadra Street. It's all kind of maintained in this area of Victoria. It doesn't really spread out. This is kind of the designated area. These guys don't really get bugged over here. They're kind of allowed to do their thing. If you guys wanna watch my previous video, I reviewed the best and worst hostels in Victoria. They're both very close to this area, and I talk a bit more about it there. Right, here it is. Wow, that's a big encampment, dude.
Keeps going. I think
That's like
some on the right, some on the other side of the street.
That is like you guys aren't seeing this. There's like a lot over here too.
And then look, it keeps going.
Oh
and we're not
my
done. And
good.
look out in front of the church. All that.
Dude, that's
And then right here on the side.
That's insane, bro. But here it is. I just gotta show it. So that was Victoria, guys. We did pretty much everything. We missed a couple things. The miniature museum. We missed the Bouchard Gardens. There's a lot of other videos that have covered the gardens. So if you guys want to see the actual island of Vancouver, we're gonna check it out in my next video, where me and my friend did a quick little 2-day trip throughout the island, going all the way up to the legendary Delfino. We're gonna hit a bunch of stuff along the way. There's some must-see things there. You know, I had my camera out the whole time. So if that video is out, I'll put it on the screen right now. Make sure to click that. Come on this adventure with us. I think that, you know, making these videos is gonna help you guys kind of decide what you wanna see and what you don't wanna see. Please leave a like if you guys got some value or enjoyed the video in any way. Leave a comment. Let me know if I missed anything that I had to hit, and have a great day.